Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're talking about maybe the single most important survival skill you'll ever develop as a pilot: how to see and avoid other airplanes.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is the most dangerous thing you'll ever run into up there? A big thunderstorm? Maybe engine trouble? Nope. It's something way, way sneakier than that.
That's right. The biggest danger is the aircraft you never even see coming. And that's exactly why mastering your visual scan isn't just a good idea, it's literally everything. Now, you might be thinking, hey, I've got 20/20 vision, I'm good. Well, that's awesome. But up in the cockpit, even the best eyes have their limits. Let's get into the science of why your own eyes can actually let you down. So, according to the FAA's own Aeronautical Information Manual, the AIM, a few things are working against us. You've got glare from the sun that can literally blind you for a moment. If you're tired, your reaction time for spotting traffic just plummets. Then there's this weird thing called empty field myopia. That's where you're staring into a big, empty blue sky and your eyes actually relax and stop focusing on anything at all. And of course, everyone has natural blind spots. So the most important point, and this is straight from the AIM, is actually super simple. Your best defense, your number one tool, is just spending more time with your head up, looking outside the airplane. That's the foundation for everything else we're about to cover. Okay, so here's a classic FAA test question for you. We know our eyes get tired shifting focus from the instruments right in front of us to the horizon miles away. So, what's the best way to transition your scan from inside the cockpit to outside? The FAA recommends a really smooth, logical flow. Think of it like this. You start inside on your instruments. Then you let your eyes trace a path out along your left wing. This lets them adjust to the distance. From there, you start your sky scan. When you're done, you trace back along the right wing and then finally return to your instruments. It's a system that helps prevent eye strain and keeps you from just randomly glancing around. All right, so we know we need to look outside. But how exactly do we do that? Because just looking around aimlessly is not going to cut it. There is a specific technique, a real art to seeing like a professional pilot. This number is everything, 10 degrees. Because of how our eyes are built, you can only really truly focus on a tiny little patch of the sky at any one time, a segment that's just 10 degrees wide. Seriously, everything else is just a blur in your peripheral vision. And here's the kicker. Inside that little 10-degree block, your brain needs at least one full second to actually see something, recognize it's an airplane, and decide if it's a threat. One full second for every single block. So, how are you going to remember this? Easy. Here's your first memory trick. Scan the 10 in 1. That means you scanned a 10-degree block of sky for one full second. Then you move your eyes to the next block, hold for a second, and so on. This methodical process is what separates just looking from actually seeing. Okay, so now you're scanning like a pro. You're pausing in each section of the sky, and you spot another aircraft. Awesome. But how do you know if you need to worry? This next skill is all about figuring out if that other plane is a real threat. And hey, before we even get into the cool techniques, let's cover the absolute basics. And I'm talking day one stuff, straight from the AIM. If your windshield is covered in bug guts and dirt, you're flying with a massive handicap. So clean your glass before every single flight. No excuses. All right, let's do a quick thought experiment. This is going to help you understand the single most dangerous sign you can see in the sky. So picture it. You've got a single, unlucky bug splattered right there in the middle of your perfectly clean windshield. So you're flying along, scanning the sky, and you spot another aircraft way out in the distance. And just by chance, it seems to be lined up perfectly behind that bug spot on your windscreen. So you keep watching it. That other airplane is definitely getting bigger, but it's not moving. It's just stuck right there behind the bug spot. It's not moving up, down, left, or right. So is that a problem? Oh yeah, that is a massive problem. This is the FAA's official definition of a collision course, an aircraft that shows no relative motion, meaning it isn't moving across your field of view, but it's getting bigger. That plane is coming right at you. Here's a simple and kind of gross memory trick to burn this into your brain forever. If it's stuck in the muck on your glass, it's coming at you fast. Any object that stays in one fixed spot on your windshield is a major threat, and you need to take action right away. Okay, now that we know how to scan and what to look for, let's put it all into practice with one of the most fundamental safety maneuvers in all of aviation, the clearing turn. You gotta look before you leap. Clearing for traffic isn't just something you do before practice maneuvers. It is a constant state of mind. You should be scanning the final approach course before you even roll onto the runway. When you're climbing or descending, you should be doing gentle banks to look above and below you. Flying straight and level for a while, do a turn just to check your blind spots. And yes, absolutely, before you do any maneuver, you perform clearing turns. Now, how you clear the area depends on what you're flying. In a low-wing airplane, that wing is going to block your view into the turn. So before you turn left, you need to lift that left wing up for a second to peek into the turn. But in a high-wing plane, it's the same idea. You momentarily raise the wing in the direction of the turn to get a clear view around the fuselage and into the airspace you're about to fly into. All right, we've covered a ton of ground here, but the whole goal is to turn all of this from stuff you're thinking about into stuff you just do. Let's wrap it all up in a simple checklist you can take with you on every single flight. Here it is, your see and avoid it checklist. Number 1, always start with clean glass. 2, scan using the 10-in-1 technique. 3, keep a sharp eye out for that huge red flag, no relative motion. 4, make clearing turns a non-negotiable part of every flight. And finally, here's a great pro tip from the FAA. Say it out loud. Actually, saying clear left, clear right helps build that muscle memory so much faster. So, I'll leave you with this one last thought. In this big, shared sky, with all the radar and air traffic controllers out there, at the end of the day, who is ultimately responsible for seeing and avoiding other aircraft? The answer is always you, the pilot in command. Thanks for watching the deep dive, safe flying, and see you next Wednesday, same place, same time.